Hello, and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 324 for Friday, October 11th, 2024. Han is not the only solo flying in. Let me try it again. Episode 324. Han is not the only solo flying in. Anyway, from Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
You don't even need to cut that, Freddie. That's just perfect.
Yeah, just leave it. Yeah, and we all knew that was going to be a struggle.
I know. I need to.
Yeah, we need a guest feature from Ben with his full setup.
Yes, Ben's a consultant here at Zenatta who always has a lightsaber at the ready. And any time when it needs to fly in on any Zoom call, he's ready with the lightsaber. So, anyway, I hope you had a good week, Ty.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting out of the travel part of the year for me. Yeah, one more. That's a little odd. Let's never do that again. Freddie, cut that out.
Before. Well, I don't know. We've been spending too much time together. What's that?
Yeah, that's for sure. Busy week for sure. But getting into the back half of the year, I'm going to travel a little less. I have one more trip this weekend. Excited to go, but also excited to be done. Traveling.
Saw that in a little text message from Jordan the other day. Can you say where you're going? Is it
out to Tucson, see one of my best buddies from childhood. So we get together about once a year. So be a great time. It's just, as you know, been out of office, in office, out of office so much lately.
Tucson,
I'm a
Arizona.
boring person. I like my routine. Yep, out to Tucson for a couple days.
Well, that's cool. I love Tucson. It's pretty. Some nice areas there. And, speaking of Tucson, that's where ZPortals is based out of.
Wow.
And with that, before we get into the show, here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode of the CRM Zen Show is brought to you by ZPortals. ZPortals is a must-have extension allowing you to effortlessly coordinate with clients and partners. We configure ZPortals all the time for our clients who are looking for the best portal solution. And boy, do we love how easy it is to customize and the flexibility to connect to multiple Zoho apps. So don't wait. Check out ZPortals today and be sure to mention Zenatta to get 10% off your first month.
Tyler, you know what? It's just not a month unless Zoho has released a new app. And we now have Zoho Solo, and the logo is a 1. Do not confuse it with Zoho 1. This is different.
I hadn't even thought
This actually fairly cool. So this is a mobile-only app. So it's for Android and iOS, and it is for solopreneurs. So you're a one-man shop working out on your own, and you want a little streamlined CRM billing expense. So it takes care of your contacts. It takes care of your task management. It takes care of your expenses. You can invoice out of it and receive payments through using multiple payment gateway integrations. And it's got some sort of tax compliance. It looks like you can because most solopreneurs, I imagine, they're running around. It's going to be taxes are going to be local. They're going to be fairly easy for them to plug in. They're just in their hometown or something like that. So you can plug in your taxes that are charged. And this just came out of left field. So this is Zoho's third quasi CRM now, because you've got CRM, you got Bigin, and now you got Solo.
Yeah. Now, what is interesting with this to keep in mind is this is not like a bundle app. So a while ago they released, what was it called? Zilum, which was their Zoho stack for personal use, kind of like a personal Google Drive, mail, all that. And that's an umbrella of apps. They've got a lot of those different bundles. This is not. So when we say CRM, this is not Zoho CRM or Bigin. It's like a very lightweight contact management tool that's built natively just into this app. So it is an interesting one. I'd imagine really the play here for them is pick up a solopreneur before they become an entrepreneur. They have 10, 15 employees, ideally getting them to roll over to, Zoho apps later. So interesting play, definitely one that I could see people using for that simple type of use case. I mean, Zoho does a good job at invoicing and collecting payment. So having it handle that for you is pretty nice. Relatively cost effective, $10 a month to cover all of that. Definitely not a bad deal.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see. It is, to our understanding, mobile only though, right? There is no browser version of this. So I would assume iPad would be fine as well, but no browser, mobile app only for this new application.
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't checked and seen if it's actually an iPad app has been done for it. Here's the decision you have to make on this if you are a solopreneur coming in. Zoho One is $45. So for $35 more a month, you get everything, man. I mean, you've got a full-blown CRM, you've got a help desk, you've got Zoho Books, you can truly manage all your finances out of it. But you have Zoho Expense, a full-blown expense application. Yes, it'll take a little bit more work to set it all up, but you're never going to be wanting for anything, right?
Yeah.
You could build your website on it. You can do, literally, Zoho One would give you everything you would ever want. And I imagine, solopreneur, there might be other things you're buying that you just wouldn't have to buy because, for $35, it's $45 a month for Zoho One for a solopreneur. So it's kind of interesting. So maybe you're right. This is a gateway drug.
Yeah.
This is it.
Interesting too will be to see, like, what does that rollover look like? Like, would I be able to upgrade from this to those other apps, and where would that data go? Because it's, again, not a bundle. So would this be a migration, or what exactly would that look like? I could see, like Zoho One, I think you end up getting a better value, but like you mentioned, it generally is going to need to be configured to some degree. Even just like, let's say you spin up a new CRM account, you open up the contacts module, you're going to see a bunch of fields on there that you don't need, where maybe an app like this is just already very streamlined, right? Maybe you're in that very early stage where, like, I don't know my system and process, right? So I can't go in there and really set up a CRM to match it. I just know I've got customers. I got to bill them. I got to log my expenses. And so this could be a simple starting point. Again, you're going to graduate out of this, right? If you bring on employees or start to grow the business. But at a baseline, I could definitely see some value here in just a very simple, easy to use tool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would, I'll probably should download it, give it a try, just see what it looks like. I can't imagine. There's nothing to sell. There's nothing to configure, right?
Yeah.
This isn't anything that Zenatta could
Not
get
an application
involved with.
Zenatta would really need to help anyone with, realistically.
Mail us your phone. You mail us your phone. We'll configure it for you. We'll mail you your phone back. We'll just do this overnight. Yeah.
One thing I do like, though, just, Zoho being Zoho, you don't need to put your credit card in to do the free trial of the professional plan. That is something I even get got with that sometimes. I try something out. They make me put in my card. They auto bill it. So I do appreciate that with them. You can't actually just try out the pro version completely free and not put in a credit card, right? And if you don't pay, they just move you down to free. So pretty much zero risk if you do want to give this a try for, spinning up a new business.
Yeah, so $100 a year. Like, is that what 825 times 12? That's going to be 96 and
you're the math.
$99.
Not bad.
So, not bad at all. All righty, and moving on. That's Zoho Solo. Moving on with the news here, we've got inside of CRM now, inside of Subforms, you can directly edit, filter, and sort Subforms on the details page. The evolution of the Subform.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally. Been waiting years for this update. So for those who use CRM, you'll know a subform is basically a table that you can put on a module. Nice thing is, keeps all the data there, a little easier to use than like a related list. Nice for like product tables, quoting tables, like listing out the different services. It'll subtotal things for you in there as well. Downside is, to make any changes to a subform, you've always had to go up to that top right, click on the edit button, and then make your changes there. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a little annoying because everything else can be edited without going to the edit page. So now you can essentially hover over a subform row, over on the left, there'll
Yeah.
be that magic little pencil. That means I can edit this. And then you can go in and change whatever you want about that row. Really nice. They've also snuck in a couple other updates. Sorting is now available for subforms. That separately from like the detail view, you can now do that. Cloning rows, I don't think you could do that before. I could be mistaken on that, but I don't think you could clone them. But filtering and sorting in a subform is actually a huge update. Like that could be its own little article post, but they just snuck it in on this one. So really nice. Love to see this. Big shout out to Zoho. I gave them a little bit of flack last year on the show for focusing on a lot of shiny features, a lot of AI stuff, a lot of things that not everybody needs. I have to hand it to them. This year, they've really locked in on a lot of this core stuff. Like the field of lookup, the automatic roll-up data, stuff like this. Like these are things that tons and tons of people use. So big kudos to them for really locking in on a lot of that core functionality.
Yep. No, I mean, they have honestly, that's always one of the things we do every time on our year in review. It's like, come on, there's a bunch of core functionality, core things. So let's credit where credit's due.
Very, totally. Very nice. Great update.
All righty. And moving right along with the news, Bigin. So
Bigin gets bigger.
You got Zoho Solo. Got Bigin and CRM. So when Bigin was released, play this every time. It was very simple, streamlined. It does have a web interface. It's perfect for mobile, though, kind of made for mobile. It's just getting more and more and more of all of the features that you get in Zoho CRM. Not all of them, but bit by bit.
But deluge. Still no deluge.
Huh?
Still no deluge.
No.
In Bigin now.
That'll be the thing, won't it? That'll tip it over. It's
really
no
interesting. Leads module, which has always been kind of a weird decision. It actually, Zoho, if you're listening, it does actually cause problems. I was talking to someone. Thank you, Freddie. I love this image. I was talking to someone the other day. We're going a little off topic, and he was like, "Yeah, CRM's great. I would love to use Bigin just for the mobile experience." I'm like, "Great. Do you use leads?"
Right.
It's like, "Yes." It's like, "Okay, well then." Not actually really going to work that well. So something to consider, Zoho, if you are listening. That is a big use case, is like have the mothership CRM do a lot of heavy lifting and push data over to Bigin for the mobile side. But there's just no way to handle leads in there, which can be a bit of a challenge.
So why? But you can customize. So you could, in the contact, set a field that is typed, right? And have it as lead.
You would in CRM need to decommission leads is the problem, right? Like, so that's what he was thinking about. He's like, well, I could just stop using leads and everything comes in as a deal. It's like, well, you can.
As a contact.
It's not always the best. Yeah, as a contact in a deal. But yeah, just an odd little thing, because a big use case in my head is like, it's the mobile version of your big CRM. So it would be nice to see some solution for that from them.
And you sync the two. So, well, all that being said, Bigin just got projects integration now.
Yeah, so really nice.
So you've always had this over in CRM. And this is, if you're watching us on YouTube, they've got an animation that is running at light speed. Normally, if you run very slowly, this one is just flying around. If you can follow what's going on the screen, write to me. Let me know. I can't. Anyway, I'm about to have a stroke. So anyway, you now got overall projects integration, which is nice.
Well, no, it's not an integration, Brett. It's not an integration. It's a topping. It's a topping. That's what they call them in Bigin. The one thing that is a little odd with this,
because Bigin is a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah, exactly. These are the sprinkles. I remember Josh a long time ago posted in Click. He's like, "Why can't I find any of the integrations?" I pointed out it was because they're called toppings, and it about broke his brain in half. To learn that. So one little interesting thing with this, if you scroll back up, that integration that they're showing here is like better than the CRM one. Being able to click in and drill down and like see more of the data like this. Not sure why the integration is nicer on this side rather than CRM, but maybe they'll take some of this and bring it over. A little bit.
Well, I think
odd,
a lot of graphically, Bigin is very pleasing. I mean, it's new and it's modern, and it's not encumbered by legacy
Stuff.
issues. But yeah. And I also like the way they've, this is the built by Bigin marketplace. I guess you can create your own toppings now, like a caramel sundae, Snickers fudge topping. Anyway, so yeah, you've got that. It's nice. I mean, it's just so if you are doing project management, you've got Bigin. I mean, it's becoming the point now. It used to be this is for your sales guys. CRM is for internal staff. Some people use I don't know. It's getting to the point that Bigin is going to be a thing. We will see. 2 competing teams. Zoho keeps doing this, competing projects inside their own company. So anyway, nice job, Bigin team. And something we don't talk about a lot, Zoho Workly. I was going to, by the way, we talk about this all the time. Please subscribe to our newsletter, because if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get all the news that happened in the world of Zoho last week. And I think Tyler and I left about 10 news articles out. We have to go through.
It would be 2 hours long.
2 hours long. We say, okay, this one's kind of minor, or this one's fine, or it's just a mobile update. But there's a lot of stuff in there, and this one was kind of on a bubble as to whether or not to put it in or not, because a lot of people don't. Workly is not a widely used application, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's solid.
Really, really good.
It's solid. It's not included in Zoho 1, is it? Workly? I don't think it is. We implemented it for one person a while ago, and I remember, I think it was Landon that implemented it. He was very pleasantly surprised. It's similar to your FSM and your Recruit, where it's very clearly like a flip on CRM. It's using a lot of the same baseline, but I remember us being very pleasantly surprised with how robust it was. It totally handled our client's use case. So definitely one to think about if it's something that you need.
I do not see Workly.
No, not on Zoho 1. I just Googled it. It is separate. I think for the same reason as FSM, is you may have a bunch of users of Workly that are 1099 contractors in the field. And so you don't really want to pay for Zoho 1 for all of them. So it ends up being, one of those side applications that saves you a little bit of money.
Interesting. So it is very cheap though. $52 a month for up to 25 temps.
Yeah.
Right. So per month billed annually. So 600 and change to manage up to 25 temps. I would say that's a good deal.
And you $1.50 per temp on top of that.
Yep. On top of that.
Right. It does the scheduling, the time sheets, the jobs. You can get a lot of mileage out of this thing.
Yeah. So what is Workly? Well, Workly allows you to schedule shifts and basically for your temp workers. But the cool thing now is they've now got open shifts. So basically you can, in Workly, post all the open shifts that are going on, and people can come in and grab the shifts they want on a first come, first served basis. If you got temps that want to come in and just quickly jump in and grab some open work that needs to be done, they can do it. So you basically can create an open shift rather than just assigning a shift, and people can come in and get it done. So
nice.
Really cool. Really, really cool. So if you have something like this where you've got, part-time workers or temp workers, or just kind of honestly, just they have Zoho shifts as well, right?
Yeah,
which is
also
shift
outside
management.
of Zoho 1, if I remember.
Yes, I think so. I think you're correct. Yes, which allows you to manage your shifts, so you can they kind of can work together. But anyway, very, very interesting.
Workly is much more robust. Zoho shifts is very much like you got employees, you got shifts. That's it. We're this is going to do time tracking. You connect it to make an invoice, much more robust. Shift's actually pretty good, though. I had a client who I think we're actually going to implement it for, because they had this spreadsheet that they're doing all their scheduling in. And it's it seems like you can just put that in shifts and you get the API, you pull the data. It'll be a fun build. So yeah, nice little ancillary app.
Very, very nice. All right. And moving right along with the news. Hey, inside of Zoho WorkDrive, we've got a couple really interesting features as it relates to images, and this one is watermarking. So basically in WorkDrive, you don't You don't have to download the image, watermark the image, put the image back up, make changes to it. You basically, right within WorkDrive, can go ahead and apply a watermark to an image. So as you know, a watermark is basically something light that goes across the limit, so someone can't steal your image, use it on their website, do whatever without your permission. You basically can just watermark. So if you have intellectual property images that are your own IP and you want to protect them, you can do it directly inside of WorkDrive, which goes right into our next story from WorkDrive, which is you can now edit your images seamlessly on WorkDrive. I imagine one of those editing things you can do is put a watermark on. So kind of nice. I mean, crop, resize, highlight, pretty
add some text overlays, right? So there's mostly overlaying on top of an image, like doing some highlighting, icons, arrows, stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can crop and resize. So that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't look like you can do image adjustments, right? Like contrast and that kind of stuff. But pretty nice, basic. I mean, you know, this is basic stuff you'd want to do if you're going to post something on the web or you're putting it in a PowerPoint presentation, right? You might want to mark up the image before you did it. So you don't have to really put it into a separate tool to do that. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, very slick.
Good stuff. Yeah, nice little need to have to need. There you go. All right. And gosh, you know, Zoho Forms, Tyler, evidently there were a bunch of changes that were made. And did we pick up on this? And did we make a video on that?
I think we actually beat them to the punch on this one. Wade noticed these changes a week or two ago, and we actually have a take video on this ahead of the article that came out. So big shout out to Wayne on that.
So we like to think that the Zoho Forms team said, oh, wow, I guess this is a big enough deal. There's an automated video about it. Maybe we should put an article.
They're nice changes. There's some nice updates.
They are great. So Zoho Forms, pretty big update, really. Mm-hmm. So you've got an all new theme builder, and it just makes designing your forms a heck of a lot nicer than it was before. So shout out. We cover this in detail on a video over on our YouTube channel, on the YouTube, Tyler. Over there. Sorry.
Over on the YouTube.
Not much to say. Not much to say, except it's a new theme
Check
builder.
out the video.
Check out the video. There you go. All righty. And wrapping up the news, Spanish, any language. You're using SalesIQ. You're talking to somebody, they come into SalesIQ. They don't speak your language. You don't speak their language. But there are so many translation tools out there. There's Google Translate and there's Azure AI Translator. And now SalesIQ supports them both. I guess it has supported Google Translate in the past, but now it does Azure AI Translator with Zoho. Cool beans, man.
Yeah, very cool. So essentially it's basically translating in between. So it's going to grab their message, turn it into your language, and then grab your message and turn it back into their language. Really nice. I mean, like, you do have those cases where a business, let's say they do the vast majority of their work in the US, but maybe they also have, 10% of their clients are over in Europe. And so you get into that tricky situation, like how much support staff do I want to staff for that, client vertical? And so being able to basically say, hey, I've got someone, their primary language may be English, but they could provide support to people whose primary language isn't, it might be a hire that you don't need to make, right? Because your team might be able to handle that volume. So really nice, high impact type of stuff. We're going to leave this one out, but then I read a little closer and it is really nice.
It's cool.
And then little bonus update, Google Translator, I guess, has been there for a while. I don't know if we ever caught that update.
I don't think we did.
So 2 for 1 for the listeners here. It's Azure and Google are supported for this.
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of illegitimate children scattered across the world that I've never been able to talk to.
This could be a problem for you. Yeah, this could actually be a problem.
This solves a problem. Now I can talk to many of my children because I can set up a little separate SalesIQ channel just for them. It's going to be great. Just reconnect with the offspring.
Powered by Azure. That should be an ad for them. Yeah, they should be sponsoring us.
Oh, man. All righty. And with that, let's get to our implementation of the week.
All right. So implementation this week built out by Colton and Ash on the Zenatta team. So this is basically an add-on to an existing integration that Zoho offers. We find ourselves doing this a lot where Zoho has an integration between two apps. It handles the bulk of what's needed, but there's a little bit of finer details that just doesn't get sorted out by the native integration. And so in this case, we're talking about projects and desk. And one of the integrations available is inside a desk. It can add a little button where you can transfer that ticket over to a bug or an issue on the project side. Use cases for this might be you are in the middle of a software build out. Maybe the client is doing some testing on a feature that's been completed. They support a ticket saying, hey, I've been doing some testing. I notice if I do A, B, and C, I get a little bug. You're going to actually transfer that to the project rather than handle it as a ticket because the project isn't yet done. Right? So that's kind of the use case of this flow. One limitation, though, of this integration is that when it creates that bug or issue inside of projects, it doesn't automatically set the owner of that to be the owner of the ticket in desk. And honestly, for some people, that's fine because in a lot of cases, it might be two different teams, right? You have a support team and a development team. So we wouldn't want the owner of the issue to be the support member. It should get assigned and worked through the process on the project side. In this case, they're the same team. The people who are working on the development project are also handling the inquiries and the communication back and forth. Honestly, kind of similar to how we do it internally. And so to solve for this, we essentially added a flow where when a bug or issue is created in Zoho projects, a little routine runs that checks if that issue came from Zoho Desk. It actually adds like a little identifier of where it came from so that we can know that. And then if it did come from Desk, we reach over, find that ticket, get the owner of that ticket, and assign that as the owner of the bug or issue inside of Desk. So again, not the most complicated, crazy script in the world, just one of those examples of kind of taking an integration that Zoho offers as a baseline and then just adding the toppings to it that somebody may need to really use it per their workflow. So nice job, Colton and Ash. We've done a couple in this place of desk and projects and kind of just tacking on these little automations on top just to get it to exactly match our client's workflow.
I like how you work the word toppings in there. Very nice.
Yeah,
I know. Did you get permission from Bigin to help him get a cease and desist?
No, I'm going to get a cease and desist.
Nice job, Colton and Ash. All right. With that, Tyler, let's head over to Club Z and check out our code share of the week. All right, Alex is back. This is kind of a follow-up to last week where it was how do you download a file from a subform inside of Zoho Creator to WorkDrive, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or you download it, and now how do you put it into WorkDrive?
Yeah.
Put it.
Yes.
You downloaded it.
Basically, as we jokingly say internally, step one is downloading it into the cloud, the magical place that files can live in the middle of a script, right? Where they're just being carried through a process. And then
where do they actually live in that brief period of time?
They're just being referenced in the script itself. When you actually add an attachment, a lot of apps use this ZFS, Zoho file system. Like when you add an attachment to CRM, you actually add it to ZFS, get the attachment ID, and then put that in CRM. But yeah, in the interim, they're just in the magical cloud, and the script is just using them and putting them wherever they need to go.
Interesting. So you've downloaded it last week, and now you want to put it into WorkDrive. You can do that.
So kind of a two-parter. Big shout out to Alex. These are things we do really often. Capture some stuff in a subform, and then make sure it goes wherever you need it. So I would imagine this will hopefully save someone a little bit of time.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Club Zenatta, it's our online little social platform where like-minded Zoho users can get together, and we post code shares. Look here, open PDF on Zoho Creator form submission. This was posted by one of our users. That's rare. We get that occasionally. You know,
seeing more and more of it actually. Like if you scroll this, like people are really nerding out in here with us, which is just awesome to see.
It's all But we've got a couple thousand like-minded users that are in here, and they're just posting away. So if you've got a question, someone hopefully will come in with an answer. Freddie's always posting crazy quizzes. Help Freddie. Make him feel good. Come in and answer with a quiz. Question: what is the purpose of the move department action in Zoho Desk macros? Delete tickets from the system. Allow agents to move tickets to any department. Let agents choose a specific layout in a department. I'm gonna say it's allowed. I don't. Is that it?
Maybe not.
Is it?
That's an image.
Oh, it's just an image.
You got to go answer it on YouTube.
There
I got to go to the YouTube.
You see the link right there? It says "Answer this question." It's on our community tab.
Oh, did I get it right?
No.
No, it's the third one.
No, it's the third one. Yeah, when you're doing it with a macro, there's some extra functionality. The key there is macros, because there is a move department button that's a totally standalone button to just move the department. But the macro lets you set a layout.
Very cool. Very cool. See, I tell you, Greg, our head of development on our weekly team calls, does all of these crazy, quizzes all the time on Zoho and all these kind of things. And Freddie's always killing it. It's because he does all of these things and he produces all of the videos and every tip video and everything else. I honestly think that, Freddie, you have more knowledge than almost anybody in the company when it comes to this.
Is Freddie is basically a case study to the value of watching our videos. In that just by watching the videos, he can actually compete with our team on Zoho trivia, purely just by watching and editing the hours and hours of content that we record.
So anyway, head over to club.zenatta.com. All we want is your email. It's free. Just subscribe to our newsletter, join Club Z, and you will learn more about Zoho than you ever wanted to. And there you go. Head over to Club Z. And with that, let's head over to Zenatta.com and look at our blog of the week. Tyler, we were talking before the show how it's getting more and more difficult to even come up with implementations of the week and various other things. And I know that the marketing team in Wayne struggles mightily with what each blog's going to be to put something out there that's relevant content. But every single week, we seem to come through with something. This is a cool one. And then what he's done is it's Zoho CRM best practices for lead management. And he's pulled together not one, not two, but five videos that we've done over time on basically lead management, lead capture, UTM, layout, everything that you would want to know about overall lead management. Pretty good. So it's a nice article, kind of ties a bunch of stuff together. So check that out as well. And that is over at Zenatta. From Zenatta, you can easily get to Club Z. If you're a client of ours, you get to our portal, you can access our training courses. And I guess the biggie, the reason most people come over to Zenatta is to go to our overall resource library where we keep track of every single Zoho app. We also keep track of all the bundles. We rate the applications, and any and every bit of content that we've ever done, and sometimes other people have done, we link it into the resources as well. So check that out over at Zenatta.com. And with that, let's get to the tip of the week. Tyler, you are back again with the new Kiosk 1.1 update that we covered last week on the show, right?
Last week. Yeah, we covered this one last week. Couple new little features in here, primarily I would imagine around lead flow. So you can now convert a lead through a kiosk. You can schedule calls, schedule meetings. They've added some new field types as well that are available, and they're starting to tackle the one kind of big challenge with Kiosk is it can be kind of tricky to get the data where you want it to go as the kiosk is being completed. You oftentimes have to use scripts to do that because the kiosk are not fields that are on the record. It's a separate interface, and then you need to put them on the record when it's done if you want them there. So a couple more little updates that they do need to make just to tighten that up, make it a little easier for people, but they are starting that process here with 1.1. So well worth taking a look at. We kind of cover each and every one of these going through Zoho's write-up on it. So take a look. We've honestly been finding more and more use cases for these. They're super useful and very, very flexible, where you can essentially build whatever process you need into the kiosk and then have it run that for you.
So could a kiosk replace a Zoho form in some ways? So for example, on our website, we've got our lead form, right? Because I'm thinking about
not
that.
External, only internal.
Only internal.
Only within the CRM itself. Yeah.
Got it. So it does have similar functions, though. You're capturing the data in a separate form, if you would, and then you're writing it and then doing actions based upon that.
It's kind of like, let's say you're on your homepage and you want to just like click a button and start the process to add a deal. And it might be for an existing account or an account that you need to create, right? So the kiosk would let you search for an account. If one isn't found, it would like route you down the create path. Or if it is found, it would route you down the select path. So it's like a very, very flexible tool that sits independent of any one particular module, which means you can initiate it from places like the homepage, right? Which is actually a really nice little thing to be able to do. So yeah, we're finding a lot of value in them. And I'd imagine a lot of users are doing the same.
Very, very cool. Are there things in Kiosk that would be cool to have over in Zoho Forms? That's the external version, kind of like that, or vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing is it's a lot of referential stuff about data that's in your system, which is always tricky in a form because it's external and everything has to be anonymous. You know, or you can't like have a CRM lookup, right, on an external form where they could just scrape your database. So yeah, it's a little tricky.
All right, and all of these videos are on our YouTube channel. You know, I did a prediction about 5 months ago where I predicted when we were going to hit 20,000 subscribers, and I predicted it would be yesterday, but it was not. And so we are off by just a little bit. As you can see, we're a little 19,900 and change right here. So next week, we'll hit that 20,000 subscribers. We want to thank every single one of you for supporting us. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. But this is where all our videos are. So, you know, whatever you're looking for, you can come in here. You can go to Zenatta, look at the resource library. But we are posting 2 to 3 videos every single week. And we would love it. You know, hopefully you will find these useful. But do like and subscribe. Again, we'd appreciate it. And Tyler, you are on a roll with these tips, my friend.
Yeah, been a busy year. Been trying to record more and more of them. Our goal for next year is going to be 2 a week instead of 1. So that's going to be even more insanity there.
What we decided?
Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing about 1 a week, and then we've got a couple people picked out to do 1 a month, and you add them all up, and we'll be cranking out even more content than ever before.
There you go. Good stuff. Well, that was a kind of a lengthy show for us, I think, huh?
Absolutely.
Freddie, what did we come in at there?
Yeah, we're at 38 minutes.
38 minutes, not bad. Not bad. Well, as always, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And if you would like to reach us here at Zenatta so we can help you with whatever Zoho issues you're having or building out a custom Zoho installation, we would be happy to do so. And just head over to Zenatta.com and click on Book a Meeting, and we'll be talking to you shortly.
On the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered to your inbox every single Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks again, everybody. All right, I can get some toppings for my cereal now, Tyler. Oh, man. Good week, everybody. Thanks again. See you next week.